Now, after slapping China with 245% tariffs, it's US President Donald Trump who's talking about striking a deal with China now. Trump says that he's thinking that he may make a very good deal with China. Now, all this comes in the backdrop of the growing trade battle that we are seeing happening between China and the United States of America. Beijing recently offered airlines not to take further deliveries from Boeing company jets, marking the latest salvo against Trump's decision to levy very heavy taxes on Chinese imports, this up to 145%. China has also warned that it is not afraid of a trade war with the United States of America and said that equality and respect and mutual benefit should take place between both the nations. The trade standoff has triggered global market instability. Equity markets in Asia, Europe and US, they have witnessed a sharp decline. There is also a fear that there could be a slowing of economic growth globally and there could be rising inflation that we could see.
Well, you think there won't be, of course there'll be a trade deal, very much. They want to make one very much, and we're going to make a trade deal. I fully expect it, but it'll be a fair deal.
Are they on your priority list?
Everybody's on my priority list.
A top market and economic expert, Ruchi Sharma, spoke with news director Rahul Kanwal on what the future of this war looks like. This is a war taking place between the US and China. Listen in.
His first term, the tariffs went up very slightly. The average effective tariff rate in America went up, I think, from 1% to 2.5%, mainly directed at China, the average effective tariff rate. I think under this presidency, there is a base case that you can take that the average tariff rate is going to be about 10%, which is still a significant shift. But it's nowhere near the average of 25-30% type tariff rates that he has spoken about in that famous April 9th announcement or
Liberation Day.
Yeah, Liberation Day, of course, was earlier, but April 9th was when it got all implemented. That was the peak shock day when those tariffs, we woke up in the morning, those tariffs were there until he, unwound it that very day. So I think that that's where we're going to be at, which is that we saw peak tariffs on April 9th. And we know what the base is, which is that we're not going back to the 2.5% world either. He's trying for something in the middle. The only risk with the strategy is of an accident happening, because you're playing in some way a big gamble out here.
What could this accident be?
China. And I think that's what's the real worry, which is that his sort of strategy is that, and this comes from a bit of hubris about America as well, which I think permeates both the parties out there at the top, that, we are the world's largest economy, we are the world's largest customer, where else will people go, where else will the money go, they have to come to us, right? So he's got that basic assumption. The biggest mistake that can happen here and lead to an accident is if China says, fine, you want to play this hardball, so will we. We are not going to come and negotiate with you. So that is where the danger happens, because he wants a deal with China. He wants the negotiations to happen where he gets a deal with China and show that they punish China to some extent. But at the end of the day, he wants some deal to happen.
He seems to also be getting frustrated that China isn't coming to the negotiating table just yet. It's impossible to say for sure, but what's your best sense? Does Xi Jinping plan to hold out, or is he also just playing double bluff?
Well, it's impossible to know this, as I said, but I think that in terms of the fact that already what China has done, I think has gone a bit against their calculations. That's the accident which has sort of happened. Therefore, the nervousness in the markets, because even if you look at what happened, it's a very telling sign, which is that when he announced that tariffs on Liberation Day, the first reaction was bad, but not a panic. The real panic set in when China decided to retaliate. All the other countries in the world said, we will wait to retaliate, we will negotiate. The moment China said we are retaliating, that's when the fear came in that maybe an accident here could happen. So I think that that's really the big risk out here.